The sixth point of my program is that you should have a very strong sex life. Basically, sex is a very important aspect of human system. It's a fundamental requirement, just like food, water, oxygen, and sleep. But because of variety of reasons, for centuries together, it has been given a lot of negative value, and people have developed a lot of guilt about sex. It has become something like a taboo. So it has harmed much our societies. And basically, we must understand that man and women are two polarities created by nature, and there is a natural attraction between them. So sex is basically a fundamental human requirement, just like all other things that we have discussed. And it has been seen scientifically that chronic deprivation of sex can cause serious mental and physical problems. Such people who are chronically deprived of sex can display abnormal behavior, and they can be corrupt, and they can even have sadistic attitude. They are generally negative people who feel pleasure in harming others. At the physical level, sex deprivation for a long time can contribute to development of diseases like hypertension, diabetes, migraine, and ultimately even coronary heart disease. And it's very important to keep in mind that mind and body are two sides of the same coin. So whether some intervention affects the mind primarily or the body primarily, it is immaterial. Ultimately, it affects both. So basically, problems come in due course of time because of both direct physical effects of sex deprivation as well as through mental disturbances. And it's also very important to keep in mind that sex is equally important for both men and women. There are certain secretions in the brain, and especially oxytocin and endorphins, that are stimulated by sexual activity, and these secretions are associated with blissful feelings. I mean, basically the type of feeling that one has during a sexual activity is uncomparable to anything else, and it is also not achievable through other alternate methods. So the benefits which you get from sexual activity and sexual orgasm is possible only through sexual activity. Now the value of regular sex is so important that it helps all your organ systems become healthy and more invigorated, and it even leads to DNA repair. So ultimately it will give you longevity as well. But as I said in the beginning, it has all gone in the head, and it has been considered as a taboo, and the person who talks about the value of sex is sometimes maligned as a negative person. So there is a certain guilt associated with that, and because of that guilt, people are, even who are having a regular sexual life, are not getting full benefits that is possible from that, and a lot of damage to the society has happened because of this attitude problem. Now, I will also talk in the same breath about celibacy, because we have valued celibacy much, and in one of my previous videos on yoga, I had talked about brahmacharya, which is celibacy. Yes, I totally agree that celibacy is a very, very powerful tool for self-system enhancement, and those people who are naturally motivated to go for that should go for that. I mean, basically, if it is happening in you that you want to lead a celibate life, then basically there is the right path for you. But my suggestion is that if it is not happening through you, then enjoy your married life, enjoy a sexual life as long as you desire that. But ultimately, a time comes when the individual naturally grows beyond that. Naturally, celibacy comes, and an enforced celibacy only causes deeper perversions. I mean, basically, it's like a small child, a 2-year-old child who plays with plastic toys, and so when he becomes 10-year or 12-year-old, he would naturally grow beyond that. Then he would not need those plastic toys which he kept very close to the heart at the age of 2 years. But if for some reason you force the child not to play with plastic toys at that early tender age, then the child would get deep-seated psychic perversions. So that should not be allowed to happen. And when celibacy grows naturally by your natural growth and development, then it is pure and it is permanent. So it's very important that men and women, husband and wife, should ensure that their spouses are sexually satisfied. They are not allowed to or forced to live in forced sexual deprivation. And it is also very important to know, and this is somewhat philosophical, that all men are the same and all women are the same. And we can imagine that there is something like an ocean of masculine energy and an ocean of feminine energy, and your wife is just a manifestation of that ocean, a wave of that ocean, and your husband is also a wave of that ocean of masculine energy. So if you have experienced your husband or your wife, then in a way you have experienced the whole ocean. In a certain way, there is no difference between a top actress or a model or some beauty contest winner and an ordinary girl living in a poor village. I mean, at some level, basically, they're same creatures. So basically, if one is sexually satisfied with his or her own spouse, then there is no reason why his or her mind should be diverted towards other men and women. And but these days we are seeing a lot of rape cases all around the world, and also in a big way in India. And it only shows that people are so much sexually deprived because of those mental values which they are carrying, that whenever there is an occasion, whenever there is a possibility, they become animal-like or beast-like, and they forget all normalcy and all senses. So in my opinion, basically sex education should be provided to adolescents when they are about 16 to 18 years of age. They should be made to realize what sex is all about, how their systems work. And it is also very important that before marriage, they should be given an opportunity to read authentic literature on sex, how to enhance the happiness derived from sex. And we are a country where very, very great quality treatise was written in very olden era by the name of Kama Sutra by sage Vatsyayan. And sage Vatsyayan was a sage. He was a rishi. He was not a sex maniac, because people in the past had also recognized that this is a very important and fundamental aspect of human existence, and if this is ignored, then the whole human system will perish. That one book which has enriched the lives of British people very, very strongly, and which is possessed by almost every alternate British family, is Kama Sutra. So Kama Sutra all around the world has helped people in having a rich life. So my advice is that it should not be ignored. This is not an ignored, and this is very, very senseless that husband and wife fight for flimsy reasons and spoil their married life and their sex life. Because if there are issues in the mind, then the quality of sex would definitely be affected. And it's very important then that husband and wife should always remember that they are complementary to each other. Their existence is incomplete without the other. And if they have this feeling and they know that the relationship of a man and a woman, that is a husband and wife relationship, is the most fundamental relationship, and all other relationships, they emerge and arise because of that. So if they remember that and ensure a very peaceful and harmonic life, then it will go a great way in giving you good health. Ladies and gentlemen, I am trying something very unique. I am trying that in the long run your system should be transformed in a way that you should not need doctors. You should not fall sick. I mean, basically, it is very, very senseless that one should fall sick and then seek medical advice. So I'm trying something which is much different from the current medical scenario. And if you're interested in this information and you want to spread it to your friends and relatives also, please like and subscribe the channel, and also press on the bell button so that you get alerts. Thank you.